What it do? Bad Sam Crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here to talk about the first pay-per-view of 2025, which is rapidly approaching, and I think we can all agree that it's very likely to be Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. Khabib recently stated that, Islam agreed to a fight in January. We all know that Arman's the number one contender. I know there was talks of doing Arman versus Charles for an interim title or some ridiculous kind of fight like that. I think we all know that it's going to be UFC 311, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan 2. I'm going to be giving my thoughts and early prediction on this matchup, and then I'm going to be building a pay-per-view card, including some banger prelims for this fight. So when I think about this matchup, obviously you guys know I've dropped videos in the past saying, you know what, I have a feeling Arman's going to win. I have a weird feeling about Arman Tsarukyan. And I haven't been able to put much logic behind it because I haven't thought about it too much. But now that this seems like a fight that's very likely to happen, I want to talk about why I feel like Arman Tsarukyan is going to be a really, really hard fight for Islam Makhachev. Like, am I crazy that after watching that Poirier fight, and you can't take down Dustin Poirier, and you're outboxing him with the threat of the takedown from the first round, but outside of that, you're not getting takedowns, right? You're still having a competitive fight. You're wearing a lot of damage. Same thing against Volkanovski. I feel like there really is a path to victory here for Arman Tsarukyan where the grappling is canceled out and there isn't as much of a threat of a takedown from Islam Makhachev to affect the striking, which makes it a lot more competitive in my opinion. Plus, Islam Makhachev's coming off a hand injury. He's coming off a bit of a layoff. I know that Arman Tsarukyan is going to be waiting basically the same amount of time, but he's not coming off injuries. Right, he's coming off a close fight with Charles Oliveira, but a fight where he showed that he can take down Charles Oliveira. He can defend submissions. He can outbox Charles Oliveira pretty cleanly in that matchup, which most people saw. Right, and I feel like when you look at the fact that the Poirier fight was like, I know that he had staph, but he himself said he didn't take any antibiotics. Like, his performance wasn't affected by it. I know that he is on paper, like I'm Anthony Smith, the better wrestler, the better striker, the more credentialed fighter, right? But rewatching that fight, like Arman Tsarukyan's scrambling with this guy and taking him down. They're going back and forth in every exchange in the grappling, which we've never seen anyone else even come close to doing with Islam Makhachev, except for like Alexander Volkanovski and now Dustin Poirier, who's 35 with a bad hip. I don't get the narrative that this is like a done deal, like, oh, dude, Islam fucking destroys him. I think Arman Tsarukyan has improved so much since that first fight. It was short notice. It was his first fight in the UFC. You can't really point to anything that Arman is better than Islam at, but you can point to the fact that he's improved at every single aspect of MMA. Right? We saw that his cardio has gotten better since the Gamrot fight. We saw that he's able to scramble with Gamrot, with Islam, with Charles Oliveira, right, with Ismagulov as well. He causes a lot of damage every time he gets takedowns. I do believe this is a fight where you're going to see these guys trading takedowns, like Leon and Bilal. I think it's ridiculous for people to think that Arman Tsarukyan cannot take down Islam Makhachev when Dustin Poirier is hitting switches on this guy. When we didn't really see him get easy takedowns against Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira was pulling guard against him and, kind of neutralizing him on the ground. I know obviously Charles got finished in that fight and got beat pretty handily, but I feel like it's kind of insane to just write off Arman Tsarukyan because, let's be real, the reason people are doing that is because they don't like him. That's the same reason they claimed robbery from 2 fucking submission attempts when he elbowed Charles Oliveira's face open, took him down, outboxed him, pieced him up with his jab, landed a fucking axe kick on him. I don't know, man. It's really, really hard for me to put into detail exactly. I'm going to be doing a lot more of a detailed breakdown of this fight closer to when it happens. But when I think about the matchup, I'm thinking about these factors. Islam Makhachev's coming off a hand injury, which is going to affect his striking. It's going to affect his grappling, right? There's a chance that comes back up in this fight. He's worn a lot of damage from the high level of competition that he's fought. Dustin Poirier, Alexander Volkanovski, we're seeing cuts form, we're seeing bruising happen a lot. People are talking about damage-based scoring in Islam Makhachev fights. One of the judges had Poirier up in that fight. You may not agree with that, but I'm saying there is a path to victory here for Arman Tsarukyan, being the guy that has nasty elbows in grappling exchanges, that can scramble with Islam Makhachev, as we've seen. He's fought better competition on his way back to Islam. It's not like he's been crushing fucking cans. He's been trying to fight the best guys in the division. He absolutely smoked Dariush. You can call him chinny all you want, but Charles Oliveira literally didn't do that to him. How is he chinny if he's been chinned before he fought Charles? So before he fought Charles Oliveira, he wasn't chinny, even though he got slumped by fucking Edson Barboza and Alexander Hernandez. But after he fights Charles Oliveira, now he's chinny. It's not a good win for Arman Tsarukyan. It makes no fucking sense. Arman Tsarukyan absolutely slumped him with one punch. I'm gonna take that into account that he has power in the hands. He was jabbing Charles Oliveira's face off. He was landing good strikes in that fight. He damaged him really well with the elbows. Like I said, I feel like this is a fight where we're going to see Islam Makhachev struggle to take down Arman Tsarukyan because of his frame, because of his grappling credentials, his abilities on the ground. He's a better scrambler. He's a better offensive wrestler than most of the guys that is probably better than all the guys Islam has fought. And I feel like his boxing and striking has improved enough to where I can see a world where he wins this fight. I feel like it's going to be a very close decision either way. I'm probably going to lean Islam Makhachev, but it's one of those ones where I just have this weird gut feeling that this is a really, really hard fight for Islam Makhachev. This is the type of fight that people overlook the contender because they're worried about, oh, okay, what about Islam versus Shavkat? What about Islam versus Topuria? This feels like Usman Leon 2, where there was moments in that first fight where you go, hold on, this guy can fucking beat Islam. And now you give him all this time to improve. He's beat top contenders, right? Beating Charles Oliveira, I don't give a fuck what excuses you want to make. That is an impressive win. Nobody in the top 5 of lightweight, I'm gonna be real, no one else in the top 5 of lightweight would I pick to beat Charles Oliveira right now. So I feel like Arman Tsarukyan is being overlooked in a lot of people's thoughts on this matchup. I think his ability to scramble with Islam and defend the grappling and take away the takedown threat in the striking means he will be able to cause damage. He'll be able to, land good strikes in the boxing. I think this is a really good matchup. And the cardio, I feel like we're going to see different cardio levels if the grappling doesn't happen. Like people are talking about fucking Arman Tsarukyan slowing down against Gamrot. That's a crazy pace that they fought at. That's not the type of fight that you have with Islam Makhachev. You're either getting taken down or you're not, and then he's boxing you, he's kickboxing you. So I feel like Arman Tsarukyan really has a good chance in this matchup. I'm looking forward to this fight. I hope this is the headliner of UFC 311. It'd be ridiculous not to if it's going to be in California. And now I want to talk about what else should be on this card, all right? So headliner should be Islam versus Arman 2. I think the co-main event, you have to do Merab versus Umar. Dude, this just makes so much fucking sense, bro. AKA Islam and Umar repping California. Merab, nobody's going to put him on the fucking headliner of a pay-per-view unless they want to lose money. Put him in the co-main event. Hopefully he loses. Listen, I'm not a hater, dude. I just think that Umar is going to win. And I feel like it's going to be so awkward if Umar loses because then Merab's going to be cutting another 40-week long Hey guys, I'm so happy that I win this fight, guys. Hey, and I know that. Okay, we're gonna have to wrap up the interview. Okay, guys, but one more thing. Can I say something, guys? Hey, Sean O'Malley, keep smoking, bro. Hey, let's go. We're gonna fight. Hey, and I built. Okay, and we really have to get the Arman Tsarukyan fight. Hey, guys, one more thing. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to hear all that. So I think this is the perfect kind of place to put Merab versus Umar, considering the fact Merab for some reason is dead set on not fighting this guy, and Umar, said that he wants to make this happen soon. I think this is the perfect place to put it as the co-main event to Islam and Arman. Obviously, the UFC is going to want that storyline of Umar and Islam winning the belt, and Khabib's going to be there. That's what they want. So let's give them an opportunity for that to happen in the co-main event. I think that's a very good fight. It's a very competitive matchup. I lean Umar because of his striking abilities, alongside the fact that we know he's a better grappler than Sean O'Malley. We know that he can scramble really well, even if he doesn't get successful takedowns. We know Merab is also going to be able to stuff takedowns well. So I feel like it's going to be a majority striking matchup, and I lean Umar in that case. All right. Now for the rest of the card, for the featured fight, I was thinking of a lot of ideas. I was kicking a lot of ideas around, but then I thought, who's the most badass fighter in the UFC? Listen, kid, Jack Della Maddalena. Let me tell you about this kid, all right? I'm going to turn into fucking Dana White with JDM. I don't give a fuck, dude. I think JDM versus Ian Gary is a banger fight to be the featured fight of UFC 311. JDM's UFC run started in California. Real hardcores know that. And this is like a great title elimination bout where you don't have the risk of like Colby Covington beating Ian Gary, and now you have to give Colby a title shot. Now we have to wait even longer to see these up-and-comers get a title shot. I think, think about the UFC welterweight division, doing fights like Usman versus Buckley is a great idea. I think maybe Leon Edwards versus someone, I don't even know, like Sean Brady. Who gives a fuck? We'll throw that on the Apex with Neil Magny as the co-main event. And I think JDM versus Gary is a very promising matchup. There's going to be a little bit of shit talk from Ian. Probably not even... That's the thing about this matchup, dude. I hope that JDM just slumps this dude. Because Ian Gary's not even going to go full heel. He's just going to be so awkward fight week. It could be a great fight. I think this is a very exciting matchup. This is the type of intriguing matchup that if you're a hardcore, you're super hyped for this one. If you're not, really, this is a good introduction to both of these guys. I think you'll get a good striking matchup. I trust JDM's ability to defend on the ground. I don't think Ian Gary is as good of a grappler as some people make him out to be for that MVP fight. I just think MVP is really not that solid in terms of submission defense. I think he has decent grappling defense, but I don't think he's as good at scrambling and getting back up as JDM. So I wouldn't look too much into the wrestling of Ian Gary as like, oh no, he's going to beat JDM. I think JDM got this one in the bag, but it's a great fight. So this is my featured fight of the card. Moving on to the second fight of the pay-per-view. We need a big name on this card. We need some excitement. We need a certified fight of the night because there is a potential here for Arman and Islam to be... Yeah, I think that'd be a good fight, but there's potential for Merab and Umar to stink it up. There's potential for Ian Gary to try and stink it up and point fight with JDM. But this one, I don't see any point fighting happening. Let's do Paulo Costa versus Barack Obama as the second fight of the card. This is a badass fight, folks. Seriously, though, he's been calling out Paulo Costa. Costa's on a losing streak. We can't keep making him fight up. Just fight somebody outside the rankings. That's exciting. Gregory Rodriguez is right there on the precipice of the top 15. I don't think there's any point in making him fight like, I don't know, Jack Hermanson, and then you get to fight Paulo Costa. Just do him versus Paulo Costa. We all want to see this fight. It's going to sell pay-per-views. It's going to make an exciting fight on the card. I think this is a great idea. Why not, dude? And Paulo Costa in California is always fucking exciting. He's always dropping bangers in California. We've got to take that into account. Let's do Paulo Costa versus Gregory Rodriguez. And opening up the main card of this pay-per-view, I'm going to be doing prelims as well, so if you're a real hardcore, stay here. For the opener of this pay-per-view, I want an exciting prospect. I want a potentially brutal and dangerous finish, or a fight of the night, which I think this fight has the potential for all of those things, to be either a complete war back and forth or just a brutal fucking crazy performance that puts on a prospect to another level. I want to do Calvin Kattar versus Gene Silva. I know Gene Silva just went to 155, but he's saying that he's going to go back down to 45. I think this is a sick fight. Calvin Kattar was supposed to fight Kyle Nelson. I know half of you don't even know who that is. So what's the point? If this guy's going to fight someone unranked, let's do him versus Gene Silva. I feel like that's a way more exciting matchup to see where Calvin Kattar's at in his career. And if Gene Silva wins this, welcome to the top 10. Now we get to do Gene Silva versus like Movsar Evloev eventually. Gene Silva versus Arnold Allen. Come on, dude. Walk with me here, dude. Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell would be the most schizo fight of all time. I need that in my life. Let's do Calvin Kattar versus Gene Silva, opening up the pay-per-view. So that's my pay-per-view. We got Calvin Kattar versus Gene Silva, RoboCop versus Paulo Costa, JDM versus iDubbbz, Ian Gary, Merab versus Umar, headliner, Islam Makhachev losing the belt to Arman, the GOAT, Tsarukyan. No, I'm just kidding. All right, but that's my pay-per-view card for UFC 311. Now I want to talk about some prelims that I think we should see. First things first, I'm going to talk about the fights that the UFC's already announced, which is Rinya Nakamura versus this hairy little fucker. Like, why is he smiling at me like that, bro? Why is he... This is the guy that asked, where's your hug at? Where's my hug at, bro? This guy is up to something, bro. Check this guy's fucking files, dude. Close the schools, bro. Check this guy's files, dude. Rinya Nakamura is fighting Mu and Gafarov, so that's a good prelim that we'll throw on there. And another fight that the UFC already announced. Apparently, it's going to be on the main card. I fucking hope not. Jailton Almeida versus Sergey this is a great fight. I actually want to defend my belt against the winner of this. I think it's a great matchup. I'd love to watch it, John, you know that you're fighting John. Mate, I want to fight Sergey Spivak again. The first fight was too short, This is apparently going to be on the main card. I think Almeida versus Spivak is an interesting matchup. It is a good fight. I do think there'll be a finish, but please don't put this on the main card because I promise you nobody cares that much about this. You know what I mean? Like, this is the perfect kind of prelim co-main event. All right, I'm going to throw this one on the prelims alongside some of these other fights. The first one that I really would like to see in 2025, give me Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. One of my boys at bantamweight has to get a win. Look at the size of my brain. I'm a genius. One of these two beloved bantamweights has to get a win. I'm a fucking genius. This is a sick matchup on top of that. Great striking battle. Adrian Yanez ain't gonna shoot any fucking takedowns. We're getting two guys going out there having a boxing match in 4-ounce gloves. I think Cody Garbrandt could win this fight, but I could also see Yanez chinning him. It's a great fight. We would all absolutely love this. This is a hardcore bantamweight fan's dream. Let's do Adrian Yanez versus Cody Garbrandt on the prelims of 311 in California as well. Bring Cody Garbrandt back to California. Let's fucking do this, dude. All right. Another fight I'd love to see in the lightweight division. I was looking over some fights for a particularly beloved kind of jobber in the lightweight division. I wouldn't say he's a jobber. He's a bit of a gatekeeper, bit of a jabroni sometimes, bit of a fucking world beater depending on the night. I honestly would love to see Bobby Green versus... This fight's gonna be the fucking shit, dude. This fight's gonna be the shit, dude. I think Bobby Green versus Terrence McKinney is a sick fight. Like this is the type of matchup that you should be putting Terrence McKinney in, bro. Why are you making this dude fight fucking Esteban Ribovic? I saw people trying to match this dude up with Mauricio Rufy, bro. You guys are trying to get this guy on fucking Conor McGregor's highlight reel. What are you doing, dude? Let's do Bobby Green versus Terrence McKinney. Fan-friendly matchup. Both of them are coming off some losses. We need a bounce back. I think this is the exciting kind of matchup that would get Bobby Green interested in coming back. I know that he likes to be active even when he gets finished brutally. And it is a little bit of a jump down. Like, he could definitely win this fight if it leaves round one. But he's also chinny enough to where you could go, you know what? This might be the start of the Terrence McKinney title. This might be where it begins right here. Bobby Green versus Terrence McKinney. Let's make that fight in California. Last prelim I want to talk about. This would absolutely be my prelim headliner if I was making this card. I would do Nakamura versus Gafarov opening the card. Then we do Bobby Green versus McKinney. Then we do Yanez Garbrandt. Then we do Almeida Spivak. And headlining the prelims on ESPN, give me this fucking fight, dude. Give me this NBA versus FIBA matchup right fucking now, dude. Jalen Turner, 100% finish rate, tall as fuck, crazy power in his hands. Joel Alvarez, tall as fuck, 100% finish rate, crazy power. Make this fight. Please, bro. Please, dude. Ranked lightweight versus a very exciting, promising prospect. The chances of this being boring are near zero, in my opinion. I know that's really hard to say in MMA, but I'm pretty confident this is like almost impossible to fuck this up. Like, this has to be a good fight. Makes all the sense in the world. A lot of fans have been calling for this. If you can't get Joel Alvarez, get like Ignacio Bahamondes. Bro, he's literally the best striker in the UFC, dude. He's literally the best striker in the entire UFC, bro. Literally all time, bro. So get one of those guys, Alvarez or Bahamondes versus Jalen Turner. He's from California as well. He trains there. So I think this is the perfect fight to headline the prelims. And this is my thoughts on UFC 311, Makhachev versus Tsarukyan 2. Let me know down below, guys. Who do you think wins that main event? Am I crazy that I think Arman could definitely win that fight? And what do you think of the fights that I made? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA. I will see you guys in the next video, man. I'm getting less sick, so hopefully I didn't sniffle as much. Have a good one, boys. Goodbye.